So how many times can you file for bankruptcy? Is there a limit? Watch our next video and find out. So this is a question that we get asked quite a bit. Sometimes it's creditors actually calling our firm to find out. But believe it or not, you can actually file bankruptcy more than once. For a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you can file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy once every 8 years. But for a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you can file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy actually multiple times. Now, keep in mind with the Chapter 13 bankruptcy, if you have filed 2 Chapter 13 bankruptcies within the last 12 months, if you try to file a third one, there's no stay in place, which means that you're not protected from your creditors unless you ask the court to put it on. But if you've had, say, 1 Chapter 13 bankruptcy, it gets dismissed, and you need to turn around and refile maybe quickly because you have a car that's about to be repossessed or a home that's going to be foreclosed on, you can actually turn around and file again if this is only going to be your second case, the one that you're filing now in the last 12 months, that will stop any creditor action. Now, keep in mind when you do that, you are going to have to ask the court to extend the bankruptcy protection more than 30 days. This is called a motion to extend, which any good bankruptcy attorney will be able to file for you, and they can go over that process. But one thing also folks need to understand is we have a lot of clients that will file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and they're at the time they're current on their home, or they think they're going to work something out, maybe have a loan modification. They file the Chapter 7, they go through it, they get rid of their debt, and then maybe a month later they're looking at foreclosure. And we've seen people, lose their home because they didn't realize, well, they could have just turned around and filed a Chapter 13. So just know that with the exception of Chapter 7, because that's once every 8 years, with a Chapter 13, you can file it more than once. Some people over the course of several years have had several Chapter 13s for, whatever reason. But just make sure that if you're having some kind of financial problem, don't just assume that you're barred from filing bankruptcy. Most people can at least file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, even if they're not eligible for a 7, or if they've had a 7 previously, you can still file a 13, and sometimes you can still get the same effect in terms of not paying all of your creditors back and just restructuring some debt, some secured debt. Of course, every case is different, so if you have any additional questions about bankruptcy or multiple filings, don't hesitate to reach out. Our information is in the bottom, and we're always